All right, Coach Waller, thank you so much for speaking with me today. So, first of all, what would you say is the biggest difference in this team between when they started playing in the fall to now?
I definitely think this off season a lot more competition. Just something we try to encourage them to do. It's been kind of hard. Our guys are from some countries where they're going to go home and they can't play in the winter. And this year we got more guys to get involved with off season tournaments, and you can see it in practice already. We're just kind of warmed up and ready to go instead of spending these first few weeks warming up.
You had one of those off-season tournaments. You have Louis Herrera and Juan Camilo playing in the Latin American Amateur with Louis getting that runner-up spot. What was it like watching them compete there?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Those guys going into the event, it kind of opened the browser right when they were starting, and Juan started the tournament out a couple under, and Louis, I think, a couple over, and then, he played with a lot of heart, Louis did, and fought his way back in that first round, and both guys had great events. Obviously, Luis had a chance to win and put himself in position, put pressure on the leader the final day, so that's a sign of a mature, competitive player.
You had a wealth of experience on this roster coming back for their fifth seasons. Marcus, Louis, Clement, Johnny. I mean, what's it like to have so many experienced players on a team like this?
It's a lot easier than having 4 or 5 freshmen. You got guys who have been around. They know where the golf courses are. They know where the athletic trainer is. They know what the workouts are like. They know what to expect in all situations. So it's a little easier on myself and Coach Peck just to know that they know where they're going. They know what they're doing. They make it easier.
So, wanted to mention Clement because he had a really good start to his fall in 2021, and then spring 22, it kind of took a bit of a dip. It seems like he's coming back a little now. What can you say about his performance this fall, and what could we see from him in the spring?
Yeah, a year and a half ago, he tried to make some technical changes, and with golf, you have kind of essentially a signature. If you sign a paper and I sign a paper, both gets done, but they look different. And when you try and change your signature, it's not something that's easily done. He's looking to do that to better himself for the future, and we're starting to see those reps pay off. Club path getting a little tighter, ball flight getting a little tighter, his resiliency to the ups and downs of it getting a little better. So golf, you never know. One week a guy is a little cold, and the next week he's running red hot, and it can last for a while.
Yeah, golf is one of those sports that I see that across. You're really a 2-semester sport from what I'm seeing, because those fall tournaments do count towards your final ranking when you get selected for regionals and stuff. What's that like to kind of be that kind of 2-semester sport? Because I can't really think of another sport that's kind of like that.
Yeah, you're managing it from day one, so you're looking at summer performance, summer play. Tournaments, the value of a win and a loss counts the same in the last week in August as it does in May, that's a long time for guys. And as I said, they can go from stone cold to red hot really quick, and things can change. So you just show up every day, do your job, and then usually good things happen when you have talented guys like this.
You guys were one of the teams really right around the bubble of the selection for NCAA regionals last year. Luckily, it broke your way. You managed to get to that New Haven tournament. What do you guys think you need to do in order to make it back to a regional this time?
Exactly what our guys did this offseason. Go out, compete, be super, super competitive in practice every day, show up ready, prepared to go every day in practice, and I think things will take care of themselves.
Last year, of course, you did not as many rounds for some of the younger guys, but what can you say about some of these younger players that you picked up, and how much is having all these wealth of fifth years been a good influence on them?
Yeah, I think having upperclassmen for young guys is great, because they know where to go to get answers to questions. If guys are doing the right thing, they've got a role model to look at, and they've got someone to follow every day. As far as guys playing so far, Chase Haygood had an opportunity to qualify as an individual to a tournament in the fall and then play for us in the starting lineup at Isleworth, and that went well for him. They just get better every day. The more they do, it's like rolling a snowball. It starts out small and just keep pushing. It gets bigger and bigger, and by the time you get to postseason, a freshman is essentially a sophomore.
So who is a player on this team that maybe, if anyone that, for someone that follows this team that, may not know right off the top of their head, but do you think is in store for a really good season?
Again, Chase kind of jumping in, late at the end of the year. He didn't make the first few events, in the starting lineup, and then he's a guy that went out and really competed hard. He played a lot of events this offseason. He put himself out there to compete, to grow, to get better, and usually those are the guys that are going to have a good spring.
So you're going to be moving on to the Big 12 with the rest of UCF sports coming after this season. Can you talk about what it's been like for you to see in that competition, and how that maybe competition switched to the Big 12, and what's in store for you guys there?
So for college golf, it's a little different. You play invitationals, you play on the reputation of either your coach or your program. You're invited to events, you exchange events from your home tournament. The conference championship is a 1-week event, so we'll play every spring for that event, but it's different for our sports like soccer, basketball, football, where they're playing a schedule. Nothing's really going to change for us except that conference championship. Having said that, that conference championship, the level of play will be very high.
All right, so what would you say to anyone that maybe doesn't follow? What do you want to see from this team by the time you get to that conference championship, to the American Conference Championship this season? What's the biggest thing you want to see from this team?
I just think the continued maturity is for our upperclassmen, knowing some days there's going to be good and bad days. When they have a bad day, reacting to that in a way where, hey, what can I do about this? How can I fix it? Versus kind of head down and maybe feeling bad for themselves. Those are the things that can go on in our sport. In a 36-hole day of golf as we play, if something's going to go wrong for an hour, you've got to be able to handle it, because we're competing for 10 or 11 hours on the golf course. So mentally, if we stay in it, I think we certainly have the physical talent.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
You're very welcome.